Well, that's a pretty cool Cuda. Talk about an underappreciated vehicle. These Cudas are, Barracudas are very cool cars. Unibody, light, rigid. This one's got a 440 stuffed into it. It should be fun. Let's get it on the alignment rack. I got to do a street strip alignment on it. Mostly straight line. It's a straight line drive car. So. But it's set up to drive on the street, which is super cool. I like it. It's a cool car. Let's get it on the rack. He's got 4 hood pins to keep that hood down. Keep it from flopping in the wind. Oh, she's got a lot of toe. This is a fresh setup, so we're gonna go through the procedure probably a couple times, rolling comps. That was weird. Oh, it's making me start over. I hit the wrong button. All right, 2.5 degrees total toe, negative. So, ignore that warning and move forward. We're going to do a baseline setup, then we'll recomp it and start over. Let's sweep our caster. Ooh, caster's 2 degrees off side to side. Camber's way off. Yeah. That's what I figured. It's a fresh setup, so it is what it is. Lots of work to do. Let's get it up in the air. What's this thing do on lift? Well, it stays pretty consistent as far as toe is concerned. Let's make some caster and camber adjustments, which these are kind of a pain because it's all upper control arm eccentric cams. They're kind of hard to get to. Sometimes you have to remove the wheels, make adjustments, recomp it, start over. You know, make adjustment, make adjustment, make adjustment. Sometimes you can jack them up and get to them, which looks like I'll be able to do here. So I want to see my initial printout. I'm going to make some adjustments. Got not enough caster on this side, so the back adjuster is going to go way out. Assuming the bushings aren't destroyed in this thing, but he said he just rebuilt everything, so I'm going to guess it's got good bushings in it. Let's check that. Does not have any bushings in it. Ah, we got good access. Let's jack this up by the lower control arm so that we can check ball joints and rod ends, make sure there's no like completely loose parts, and figure it out from there. Grab some tools and make some adjustments. See if we can get close. The race car. Want as much caster as we can get. That is not a lot of caster because we are maxed out there. Let's set our toe. Recomp and see where we're at. I just added a bunch of caster to the driver's front to kind of match me up with the passenger side. Passenger side was at like 3.5 degrees on my initial setting, or my initial reading. So we'll set it down, set our toe, and figure out where we need to go from there. Loose. So cut that one off and change it to zero. I was gonna have to get cut off. So this is more of a fresh build, but not with new suspension components. I got bolts that are seized up. Could use bushings. I'm going to recommend some other parts, but we're going to go ahead and do a preliminary on it so that at least he can be close and it'll be usable. Yeah, it needs caster rod bushings. You can see they're all, maybe you can see they're all dry rotted. Oh, it needs some love. Definitely needs upper control arm bushings. Let me cut that bolt off. so we are square. We are really far off. Oh, that steering wheel is probably not going to be right. Somebody welded the coupler to the steering gear. That's I mean, it gets the job done, but makes it less adjustable. So I'm not going to worry about the steering wheel right now. I want to worry about the center link being square in the chassis. Because otherwise you'll have one long tie rod end, one short tie rod end, and as the car lifts and lowers, it'll do wonky things with tow. Alright, let's set our toe. And then we'll figure out camber and caster after we recomp it. So on 0.28 and 1.14, let's make those down to 0. The there she went. I had to break her loose. Went the wrong way. Now that she's free, it's enough. That's a good baseline to recomp and see where we're at. Need a little more camber. The caster looks pretty good. Let's recomp and start over. Make sure we are reading accurate readings. Ooh, that's really close. So my caster's within 1/10 of a degree, which is great for preliminary with since this needs more work. My camber's within 1/2 degree, which is acceptable, but I'm going to make it within 1/10. So let's bring my camber on the driver's side to meet my camber on the passenger side. When I bring the camber in over there, it'll drop my caster a little bit, which should put it pretty close to the caster on the driver's side. Yeah, let's see where we get it. So my last readings I was towed in, and now I'm actually towed out after recomping it, which could be part of the bushings being worn, but also it's a matter of having it, you know, massively towed in or towed out when you do that comp, and then you recomp it. It definitely likes a clean setup to get an accurate comp. Just what you do, the more you do it, the more you learn. Tweak that toe, and the steering wheel's like 90 degrees off with the center link accurately centered in the car, so I'll have to talk to him about that. On this car, you can probably just remove the steering wheel and put it back on where it needs to be, which I'll do that real quick. See if that's true or not. Good. Let's do what we want to do. So you can see on this suspension system, upper control arm adjustments, eccentric cams, moves the arm in and out, changing mostly camber. The rear arm eccentric adjusts caster mostly in and out. So if you move them both in and out the same amount, your caster will stay the same. Your camber will change. When you bring the front arm out, it takes your camber positive and it takes your caster positive in this situation. So that's how you adjust these cars. So I just adjusted the front upper out to give me more positive camber. It will also give me a little bit more positive caster. I'm going to set it down, resweep caster, verify my results. And if I like it, then I'm pretty much done with this one. Just got to set the toe and set Caltrax. So, cool. Got almost 4 degrees of caster on this side. I'd like to see that on the other side as well for stability going in a straight line. It's very nice to have as much caster as you can get. So I'm going to try and bring the passenger side up a little bit. Bring it back. It's probably not going to change my camber enough, but it might get me close. So I'm going to do a caster adjustment to the rear arm on the passenger side, see where that ends me up. Looks like we got some DEI titanium header wrap on this guy. Nice choice. We like those guys. and their products. We could definitely use some bushings. These are probably the original bushings to the car. I think the final comp's going to do it. Within 2/10 in caster, 2/10 in camber. With the upper bushings being worn, I'm going to let it roll with this. It's kind of a loose setup, but at least it's usable until he rebuilds the front end, or has me rebuild the front end. Don't know what will happen with that, but we'll see. It's going to be at least drivable now and usable, so he can, you know, shake down the engine, get all the bugs worked out of the car, and keep moving forward with it. So. That's a pretty cool car. I dig it. Thank you guys for bringing me your cars and letting me work on them. I really appreciate it. This one's a pretty cool car on its way back to being something. I don't know what it looked like before this fella got it, but he's been putting it together and it's looking pretty good. It does need bushings and some rod ends and whatnot, but they're tight enough to at least allow him to shake the car down and get it moving forward. He can work some front end repairs into it, into his mix. And I will advise him of those items that he needs to do, because, you know, these old parts, the rubber parts, they dry rot, they get old, they get loose, and then it won't hold the alignment. At least we're at a good baseline where this thing can be usable and drivable. I did straighten out the steering wheel on the column. It doesn't have a master spline, so I just reclocked the steering wheel. That solved my steering wheel to rack center, if you want to call it that. At any rate, thank you very much, guys and gals. You guys have a safe day out there. We'll see you on the next one.